wondered why kids are like tiny energy bombs after a candy binge? Well, stick around and you might just find out. It's a scene many of us know all too well. You give a child a piece of candy and suddenly they're bouncing off the walls. They're running laps around the living room. They're scaling the bookshelves. They're creating modern art with the mashed potatoes. It's like they've turned into pint-sized superheroes, all thanks to a little piece of sugary goodness. But what's really going on here? Well, folks, we're diving into the candy conundrum. We're going to explore the effects of sugar on kids and why it seems to turn them into miniature whirlwinds of chaos. We'll look at the science, the myths, and the hilariously messy reality of it all. So next time your kid into a miniature tornado after a lollipop, you know who to blame. The candy, not the kid. So, sugar turns kids into hyperactive sprites. But what's really happening inside their tiny bodies? Well, imagine a roller coaster ride. The climb is slow and steady, much like how sugar is broken down into glucose in the body. This glucose then enters the bloodstream, like the roller coaster reaching the top of its track. And then, whoosh, down we go. The glucose triggers the release of insulin, which signals the body to store this energy for later use. But here's the fun part. The body, especially those of our little ones, is not exactly a master of moderation. It's more like an overzealous theme park rider, screaming for more, more, more. This insulin spike leads to a rapid drop in blood sugar levels. And there you have it, the infamous sugar rush. A wild, energy-packed ride leaves them bouncing off the walls. So, the sugar rush is like a thrilling roller coaster ride, except it's happening inside your kid's body, and there's no height restriction. Ever tried putting a sugar-high kid to bed? It's like trying to herd cats on a trampoline. Picture your little bundle of energy ricocheting off the walls, doing cartwheels across the living room, all while you're yawning and eyeing that comfy sofa. That's the power of sugar, my friends. It's like providing your kid an invisible pogo stick. They're up, they're down, they're everywhere but in their bed. And even when you've somehow managed to tuck them in, they're still wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, chattering about anything and everything under the sun. Sugar can interfere with the production of melatonin, the hormone that helps us sleep. So feed kids sweets late in the day, and it's like they're hosting a never-ending party, their little bodies. And you, dear sleep-deprived parents, are left counting sheep, or rather, watching the clock until your child finally succumbs to sleep. So if you're planning a peaceful evening, you might want to rethink that candy bar. You thought hangovers were exclusive to adults? Meet the sugar hangover. Just like a partygoer regretting that extra shot, kids too face the aftermath of their sweet indulgence. Picture this, a once hyperactive kiddo, now mellowed down, looking as if they've had a long night out at the playground. Remember the time when your little one was bouncing off the walls after a birthday party, only to turn into a cranky, irritable, and sluggish version of themselves the next morning? Well, that's the sugar hangover for you. They've gone from a sugar high to a sugar low, and it's not a pretty sight. Imagine being in a room with a bunch of toddlers who've just had their sugar fix. It's like being in a room of miniature, sugar-fueled monsters, each with their unique tantrums. And as the sugar wears off, the monsters morph into grumpy little creatures dragging their feet around. So the next time your kid is throwing a tantrum, it might just be a sugar hangover or they just really don't like broccoli. So let's recap, shall we? Or should we say sugarcoat it? We've journeyed through the candy conundrum, where we learned that sweets aren't always the sweetest deal for our little ones. We've the sugar rush reality, unveiling that the burst of energy post-candy binge is more of a myth than a reality. We then tiptoed into the realm of sweets and sleep, or should we say sweets and lack of sleep, as we discovered the havoc that sugar wreaks on bedtime routines. And finally, the dreaded sugar hangover, a roller coaster of emotions that leaves parents wondering if the candy was worth it. If there's one thing learned, it's that sugar is the ultimate prankster. It promises a world of fun, but delivers a world of chaos. And there you have it, folks. The sweet, the sour, and the cranky sides of sugar in kids. Remember, the next time you're handing out candies, you're not just giving them a treat, but a ticket to a roller coaster ride without the fun photo at the end.